In this open response question, Ursula is building a deck, and here's the shape of the deck here. And we can see it's made up of a right angle triangle here as part of the shape, and also a parallelogram. These are parallel sides here and here and here and here. And what we're asked to find is the value of the angle x here and the value of the angle y here. And then we also need to justify our answers. Well, let's start by putting down what we know. We have a 90-degree angle here. If this is a right angle, then this must be 90 degrees. We can put that in here, 90 degrees. And what else do we know? Well, we know that the sum of the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So the sum of the angles of a triangle theorem says that they will all add up to 180 degrees. So if I let this angle here, this dot, be an angle in the triangle, we can say that the dot plus the angle y plus the angle 90, the right angle, will add up to 180 degrees. So we have values here for some of the parts of our equation, but what we need to do is find this dot value in order to get our y value. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things we can notice here with the parallel lines, if I draw this shape here, we can see that I'm actually drawing what's called an F pattern. And that says if I have two parallel lines that are cut by this line here, then these angles right here will be the same if these two lines are parallel. So in our case, our F pattern here is actually this way, and it's actually a little bit rotated as well. It's more like this. So here we go. We'll draw this F pattern again here. That means that this angle here will equal this angle. So in our case, the dot here is 65 degrees. So 65 degrees plus y plus 90 degrees is going to equal 180 degrees. Well, let's solve this equation. So 65 plus 90, so y plus 155 degrees equals 180. And then to isolate for y, we have to subtract 155 from both sides. And when we do that, y would equal 25 degrees. So we can put that up here in our answer. Y is 25 degrees. And the justification for it would be the sum of the angles of a triangle theorem and the F pattern for parallel lines cut by a line. Alright, so let's put in y to be 25 then. And the dot to be 65. Okay, so next we have to figure out what x is. And when we can look at this diagram again, we can see that we've got a parallel line here and a parallel line here, and they're joined by this line here, which is called a transversal. And another pattern that we look for is called the C pattern, if I look at this part here. And the C pattern, if we have it here where these two lines are parallel, and we have this line which is kind of joining the two parallel lines, this angle here plus this angle here add up to 180 degrees. Now in our case, our C pattern is more like this. So again, if I look at this pattern, that means that 65 plus x would add up to 180 degrees. So here we go. I can say x plus 65 degrees would add up to 180 degrees. So to solve for x, I have to subtract 65 from both sides. And if I did that, x would equal 115 degrees. So we can put that up here, 115 degrees. And we could also put it over here. This is going to be 115 degrees. And our justification would be the C pattern for parallel lines cut by a transversal. And there you go. We figured out the value for x and the value for y using geometric properties.